Blacker Dread. So Blacker Dread, you there?
Yes, sister, me there, man. Bless up.
Bless up, bless up. First of all, I wanted to say good morning to you. I know it's morning there in JA, so many blessings.
Yeah, man, 9 o'clock in the morning. So give her thanks, for the rising.
Definitely.
Love and respect.
More blessings, more blessings. So, people are locked in, they're feeling the vibes and the energy. Tell them a little bit about Blacker Dread.
Blacker Dread. Who is Blacker Dread? Blacker Dread, yeah. Well, starting from the early days, sound system was my thing.
Yeah.
From day one. And obviously I got through a few songs like Ital King, King Tubbies, D Rasco. Few sound well, follow, listen, and then the great Coxon come out.
Yeah.
And from Coxon, the first time I hear Coxon, I was hooked.
For real.
Because it was it just completely different from everything else that I've done before. I had a little stint with a song called Neville King that used to play in Shepherds on the front line in Brixton.
Yeah.
That was the first I go all Manchester and then play with Neville King.
For real.
So go play a song named Kaz. So, those things etched in my memory as part of my growing, my upbringing.
Yeah.
Then, Coxon take over from like 1976. I've been listening to them from about 71,
Wow.
But 76, I took the plunge, and yeah, the rest is history. In 1995, I left Coxon because of, differences or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'd opened a shop in 93, so I really wanted to concentrate on the shop side of things because we had other selectors that would do the work.
Yeah, for real. Definitely.
Then in the 80s, I started producing. I recorded people like Mikey General when nobody didn't know about Mikey General.
Yeah.
Recorded lots of people, Don Carlos, Junior Reed, Sugar Minot, Earl 16, Michael Palmer. There's so many of them. I even recorded Willie Williams, who sing a lot of people now are getting supper tonight.
Wow.
I recorded some of him. Those were my first venture into the recording stuff. I started, there was a studio called John, a guy called John. He used to live down in Tottenham there.
Yeah.
The same road as Tottenham Football Ground, White Hart Lane. Yeah. And then Easy Street, 84. So the rest, my life has been taken up by music. I didn't even learn a trade. My trade was learning to make music.
For real. Wow. What a story already. You've only just started. People are asking me, how did you get the name Blacker Dread? How did that come about?
Well, how am I get the name Blacker Dread? All right. Back in the day, I used to, I left home earlier, 14, because I got in trouble at school and I couldn't take it. And I left home at an early age of about 14. I was on the street. So I ended up in this, it's like a little squat community.
Okay.
On a road called Brailsford Road in Tulkhill. So I used to be there. And that's where my first sound really, Ital King, that's where they were based.
Yeah.
Derek, he had that song, Ital King. And I was there and there was two Steves, because my name is Steve.
Okay.
So there was Steve Nicholas and there was me, Steve, as well. So anytime them say Steve, both of us would answer.
Yeah.
So my friend Victor King on, Victor used to say the black one, like the black one, but
yeah.
The English thing, black one. He used to say the black one, not the other Steve, the black one. That means the black one.
Yeah.
Out of the two. So that's how I get to start calling me Black One.
Okay.
And then it just progressed from Black One to Blacker. And then when I was 15 and a half, I started to locks coming up and them I say, you can't name Black One no more. You have to name Blacker Jed or Blacker Rasta. you know.
Yeah.
And when me check out what dread mean fear. So me say black a fear then them I go fear. I go fear anything we do then. So it's a black a dread. So it just progress from Victor calling me the black one to black a dread and me reach Captain because you know black and never really sound good on a Jamaican kind of vibes with the Jamaican sound. So the name black a dread just come and stick with me.
Wow. Wow. It's a funny story, but also a progressive one as well.
Yeah, because you know, you grow up as a youth and sometimes think, you know, 'cause I have a friend, his name used to be Savage.
Yeah.
But, and then there was security man at Georgian in Croydon that used to want to beat us up all the time and his name was Savage. So with my friend put the name Savage.
Wow.
And then we call him Country.
Okay.
And then from Country we move on. So, you know, these things just evolve in time and it thick. And when it's thick, you can't do nothing because if every one of your friends them calling you black or black Steve or black man, you know it just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
So
Wow.
I give thanks to the man them who name me still because I true love make them name because they didn't need to separate me from my next friend Steve Nicholas.
Definitely. One thing I wanted to ask you about Blacker was, you know, in those times you're here in the UK, what was it like in those times? Because, you know, us as young people now, we're up and coming and we don't always respect what happened in, say, the 60s, 70s and that kind of vibe. Can you give us a little flavour about what happened?
Well, I can tell you a little small story quickly.
Yeah.
When I came to England, I lived in Crystal Palace.
Okay.
59 Palace Road. I'll never forget that. That's the first place I came to when I came to England, 59 Palace Road.
Wow.
And I went to a school called Kat-a-lyst School.
Yeah.
And from Kat-a-lyst, I done my exams and I was placed in a school called Kentwood Boys School, which was a kind of grammar school kind of something. But it was in Penge,
Okay.
in Beckenham, which is like a white people area.
Yeah.
Now pulling up punches, white people area, pure white people. And I could have rolled the ball. I could have rolled the football nice. So what them used to do is just put me like up front. So when we get the ball now, me just get it and run go down the next end and score and you know, them time they just make you look up your school you there so you show off and the little white youth them never too like it.
Oh.
And you'd have a teacher named Mr. Jenkins who used to, God rest his soul, that man used to take care of me because he used to say the boy them want to bully me because I think it's only like 5 black boys was at that school, which 2 of them end up in the music, which is Buttons and Patrick, you know, the Matic 16 on section.
Oh wow.
They used to play for UB40. Patrick Tenu and his brother. Yeah, and we was in school together, and I remember one day we get bossy and score about 9-10 goals from some youth, and the youth them decide so them are gonna beat me up because me too sure.
Wow.
So when school finished now, remember we used to have a bus called 227. We used to go from Penge to Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
So them bus they used to come like every half hour in those days, or 45 minutes in the rush hour all an hour. So if you miss like school finish like 3:45, if you miss the 4 o'clock bus, you probably don't get a bus till 4:30 or 5 and you reach home late.
Yeah.
So this day now, we realize that the boy them set me up to beat me. Them put a whole heap of a buckle behind this. Them have a cinema out the road with the bus stop there. And the boy them plan for me. So instead of going through the front gate, I scale the back gate. When I see the bus come, I just scale the back gate and come I could run time it. So the bus I move towards the bus stop and I run alongside the bus. I have to get on this bus and I get on the bus. You know, them boy are gonna mash me up and when you get beat up by them boys, the teacher them not do nothing because them I say it happen outside school and you know, and my father, if me get beat up and go home, my father will give me a next beating because he must say, I don't bring you from Jamaica to make nobody beat you.
Yeah.
So I turn you better grow fast and can defend yourself. But this time, I couldn't. Me never want to fight 10, 12, 15 people.
Yeah.
So me grew up, me got school in a racist area. Which part me to live Crystal Palace was racist area. I mean, the first time in my life and that I ever heard someone swear at their mom was when I was in Crystal Palace. I didn't know because I came from Jamaica. I didn't know that you could swear at your mother.
Yeah.
It never existed in my vocabulary. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I missed one youth swear after my mother, and I ran.
Wow.
He didn't run, but I run because in Jamaica, if you swear after your mother and your friend did it, you will get beaten as well.
Yeah. Wow.
So you should have tell him don't do it. So I grew up in that area, and then we moved to a place called Tulsa, which it was God sent in a way because when I went to Tulsa school, there was like hundreds and hundreds of black youths. I didn't know that there was so much black people in England. You understand? Because I grew up in an era where pure white people, they say it was like, God, oh my gosh, the black people all over the place.
Yeah.
And we used to go like Brickton Market. It was like a day out from Crystal Palace. We get the number 3 bus to Brixton. And it was like a day out, or the 172. It was like a day out. It was really, really bad in those days. The racism thing was rife, and them guys used to wear them buffer boots, them steel toe cap boots. So you don't want to get a kick from one of them boots.
Yeah, for real. Wow. It's incredible to hearing your stories, and also from my family as well when they tell me stories. It's just incredible what the black community had to go through and still going through now. And you've had children, and is there anything that you kind of tell your children, or do you just sort of say this is what happens?
Yeah, I normally look at them and tell them, so look, we fight the fight for you now. We are the pioneers. Because our parents were submissive. Our parents were submissive. I remember my little brother Neil, got in a little bit of trouble.
Okay.
And the policeman them are going wicked, and I run up. I told my mom that the policeman like I try bullying Neil. But cause them I try to lie on him. You understand?
Yeah.
And my mom wouldn't believe it.
Wow.
She if you tell your mother say the policeman did rude to you or anything like that, them not believe you. So it's only when my mother come down the road and see how the police are deal with my brother.
Yeah.
She understands that when we are tell her say, oh, them police are deal with you. Because she's never had that experience because she's a big woman.
Yeah.
So normally them do ramp with the elders.
Yeah.
But we, the young people, we were like, what them call it, cannon fodder. We were there for the beating. Any of them could have do anything and get away with it.
Wow.
And I did so much running. Police set me up. Police beat me up and kicked me up and left me in a crap and command. So I tell my youths them these stories.
Yeah.
So they must know that when they come now, they can't be the same. They must be a cut above that.
Yeah.
They mustn't be intimidated and bullied because we fight the fight.
Yeah.
We fight that racism fight, and a lot of laws, a lot of rules and regulations, and a lot of system changes were caused by our militancy. Because we were militant, even when you had things like the New Cross fire.
Yeah.
When everybody was marching, we were out there fighting.
Yeah.
You understand? We
don't
want to march. It's just a good reason to beat up to police or beat up to skinhead or you understand? Things like that. Even when I lived in Brailsford Road, the place where them call Outerview today.
Yeah.
Right? It used to be a place where all the mugs and the skinheads used to go back in those days. Most people don't know that. Them go to Outerview today and you walk in and you're nice and you hear Cecil Rubin play some nice reggae and you say, yes, Revelation, nice. Some people on stage and you full joy yourself. But back in the days, you couldn't go over there. You couldn't walk on that piece of all that road. They said, white boy, they would have kill you if you try to walk over there. So that's how far the thing go. And sometimes I stand there when I go Outerview. I used to stand there and laugh to myself and say, boy, imagine this 20, 30 years ago, I couldn't stand up yourself.
Yeah.
So that's how much it changed. And being living near Brixton, because where I was living, Brailsford Road is like you could have thrown a thrown right into Railton Road, which was the front line.
Yeah.
So you were like 3 to 5 minutes away from the front line. So you was at the heart of everything that the younger black people them was doing, and the fight, even the Brixton riots and stuff like that in the early 80s. But the first riot I see was like 1976, and I don't hear nobody talk about it.
Yeah.
There was a house party and in Brixton, and the police them come to stop the house party, and the people them then put up with it, and them one big fight on the road with people and police. But we never hear nobody talk about those things, because that was really a riot.
Yeah.
The 81 and other were uprisings. That was the community. But the first one was just we want fair dance, and police I said no. And Milford Road in Brixton, I know a lot of people who grew up in my era know about the fighting.
Yeah.
In and Milford Road back in those days, and that was from in the 76.
Wow.
What people talk about the 81 riot.
Yeah.
I don't even speak as a riot, because it's now being classified as an uprising, because it was what we had to do to fight for our rights.
Yeah, for real. Definitely. And you spoke earlier about opening up a shop. How did that come about, and was you ever fearful of opening up the shop because of continuous racism?
No, because my shop was in a stronghold.
Okay.
My shop was Brixton, Coal Harbour Lane.
Yeah.
Right. The front line there, so and you just turn and walk like 2 minutes to my shop. So by then, when I opened the shop, it was 93. So
Okay.
things have changed. We had the 81 uprising, 82, we had the 84, we had the Cherry Gross incident, and we had the next youth that were them killing at the police station, them name gone from me now. So all these fights we had.
Yeah.
So Brixton was seen as a stronghold, because I never forget Margaret Thatcher going on the TV and saying that there's no-go areas in England. But when you come at Brixton and you come at our place,
Yeah.
Summer Leighton, no police couldn't come at Summer Leighton come ramp with no black youth them time there. So when I opened my shop 93, you had Desmond Hip City, you had like the son and name Nasty Rockers, them used to have a shop, and whole heap of a shop used to be in Brixton. So all I did was try to complement what they were doing. I never forget, I went to see Supertone.
Yeah.
And say to him, I'm gonna open a shop. I hope you don't mind me opening a shop. That was the respect I had for the other shop owners then. And I said to him, I hope you don't mind me opening a shop. And he said, look, you're a part of the business.
Yeah.
So that was the first, because I got the money. That was the first money I ever got from the music. And I got £15,000. I didn't even have a bank account.
Wow.
And I gave the check to my friend Denny, and he put it in his bank account, and I was driving on Coal Harbour Lane, and I see this shop. And I just said to myself, you know what? I'm going to have to try and get this building.
For real.
I need to get this building. And I ended up getting it, and I was there for like 23 years. I only left there because the music industry changed. And people weren't buying records anymore, and Jamaica and England wasn't making the type of music that people want in their collection.
Yeah. Wow. What I say story, but it's history. It's history that you're telling us.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
And my story,
Yeah.
My story is like, if you even read the Bible and you see Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, all of them, what they wrote was a part of their so-called history. We don't get to write our story because people not read no more. So you have to go online and all these things and speak your story.
Yeah.
But it was all a part of the development and the development of the black people in the country. So we're part of the pioneers, because like I said, our parents, they weren't warriors, they weren't fighters. They wouldn't go down, and them now go down and make people stand up on them, but the system have them locked.
Yeah.
because they were so glad to come here and be allowed to come to a country where they could make a better life for their family.
Yeah.
They were more submissive than us. We were the generation of rebels. Yeah, we were the warriors. We came and changed the whole face of England. You know, people might not see it that way, but if you look at the overall picture,
Yeah.
our generation, who is like in their 50s, 55, 60s, going up to 70, we were the game changers.
Definitely. I've got to agree with that. I've got to. And you know, when it comes to music, what was that record that changed your, I want to say changed your life, your music perspective? Do you remember that record?
Well, Cox have a tune name From Creation.
Yeah.
By a youth called Clive Hilton. At the time, we didn't even know who sang it. We used to say it was Junior Biles, and every time I hear that song, up to this day, I get goose pimples because it was like the body's tune Coxon having at them back. Now, anytime we're in a trouble, we play From Creation. When you play From Creation, the dance done, no matter which song you play, could have bad like next week Wednesday. Him can't manage it. When we drop From Creation, so you know, I have so many songs in my head top. It's almost impossible to pull them out like that.
Yeah.
You know, but one song that I'm gonna mention this song, and Sugar Minott have a song named Man Hungry.
Yeah.
And when that song came out, Man Hungry, I was living in the same Brailsford Road, and I never forget. That was the first time I knew about being hungry, because we never turn rob on them thing them, because you have everybody a rob, but we was the set of youth where we never really in the robbing thing. We do one and two little things, but nothing big.
Yeah.
And it's mostly to survive. You know, we wasn't no big robber. We couldn't go rob this and rob that, cause maybe me a coward, me don't even know, but me never like the robbing thing. Me never like to see when all a man grab all a woman purse and run down the road. We'd probably all kick him and take back the purse and give it to the woman, and man would have said, we're idiot.
Yeah.
But that song, Man Hungry by Sugar Minott, when that song came out, every time I heard that song, it used to bring tears to my eyes.
Wow.
And you know, and him say, man hungry. That's why them hungry. And I could relate to what he was saying, because you know, the same Victor King who gave me the name Blackan.
Yeah.
It was him and an ex-virgin called Robbie. They gave me a room to live in. Wow. And I was in that room. I had I didn't have a mattress, but I had a bed.
Yeah.
And it had an iron frame. And that was good enough. And then give me one sheet. And sometimes I couldn't even sleep on it because it was out of the spring them would have joke you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just wrap it up on the floor and sleep until me end up get a mattress. So Man Hungry was the tune where kind of etching in my mind, and me know say those are the type of music, if I'm ever gonna make music, I need to make reality music where people can listen, and even sometimes because music help a lot of people. You know, people listen to music and them get vibes from it, and it bring them back up. And if you notice when people are in a home and things like that, you always go and look for them favorite music and play it to them. True. So music is a great, you know, because them say music alone shall live in us. So even when the greats, Dennis, Bob, the whole of the Peter Tashes and Toots and all those people have gone, their music is still here with us. Definitely. So music alone shall live. So, you know, for me, I want to leave a legacy of music where people can say, yeah, you remember Black Dread, I used to produce them kind of song, yeah. So my youth, them can be proud of me later on. Even though my thing say, your daddy now do a lot, but me etch my thing in the history books of, you know, me call it the reggae train.
Yeah, for real, definitely.
So you jump on the reggae train, you know?
Yeah, for real. And you're definitely doing that. And you know, one thing I love about yourself is that you're bringing up the youths and you're encouraging the young generation to actually go out there and produce music, put music out there, such as Quality, such as Chavez. How did those partnerships happen?
Well, for me, the youths is the future of the business. And because all of the youths them gone into this dancehall and trap, nothing wrong with dancehall, because there's a place with Uri and all these people were doing dancehall music from creation.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. dance hall. So you go to the dance and that type of music play and you dance.
Yeah.
But back then we could have just buy those records and play in your house. Nowadays dancehall music tends to be, you have the ones them that are really X-rated. Then you have the other ones. For people like Pluto, Shepperton and those people used to do slackness back in the day. But they used to do it with a degree of dignity.
Yeah.
It'd be suggestive. It wouldn't be straight to the point. So coming to Jamaica, one of my greatest wishes was to find two new artists. Find two, I still don't find a group. I would love to make a reggae group, back in the mold of Wailing Souls or Mighty Diamond, Meditation, Epone, like a male group, not a man and two women singing like how everybody do it nowadays. I would like a male vocals and two backup vocals, or three backup vocals, and
Yeah, for real.
So looking for new artists is all I find quality. Chave is actually Gary G, Gary G that used to play on he still that plays on IRFM.
Yeah.
Who is a very good, he's a very, very good friend of mine. Chave is actually his artist.
Wow.
But because we work together so close, he's helping promoting quality. So I help to promote his artist as well.
Yeah.
So I have quality, I have Earth Warrior, I have I Desire, I have the veteran Fred Locks in the camp. I have a youth named Motivation, and I have my son in America who helped to finance all the projects that I'm doing because he's doing well for himself, and he said, this is where he came from. He learned it all from me, so he wants to put back something in to the business. So we say we have a look at young talent, because if I go tomorrow morning, at least we have some young talents so my son and my other children them can nurture and bring them through the gate to get on that reggae train.
Definitely.
Because the reggae train never stop going. It a travel around the world. So it left the music in every country from India to New Zealand, Australia, coming back to Europe, back to the Caribbean. The reggae don't stop. So we have to keep it going. And I don't mind the dancehall, like I said, I've got no problem. I will make dancehall music, but I try to keep it a bit not too X-rated. I don't mind the suggestive one to let people think about it. But, the Black Dread label have to stand for something which is roots and culture music. So I'm looking for those type of artists, and quality is he can sing dancehall because we produce a couple dancehall songs with him, but we try and keep it. If we're gonna do something X-rated, it will only be for the dance hall. It wouldn't be music that we would release out there per se. We'd probably do like a clean version, release the clean version, and then the dancehall, because the dancehall love that if you want to bust them in the dancehall, you sometimes you have to do what they do. You go to Rome, you don't necessarily do what the Romans do, but you still have to watch what the Romans do.
Yeah, for real.
So it's the same thing with the music. You don't have to do what they do, but you can do it in a way where the music can go forward, and the artist will be loved in all the genres, like in the roots and culture, then we love him. In the lovers rock, then we love him. And in the dancehall, then we love him. So that them kind of artists they may try to bring forward.
Definitely. And so what's next for you, Black Dread? We're coming to the last bit of the interview, but what's next for you? What can the listeners get excited about?
Well, definitely quality. Definitely quality. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
This youth, him have a style, him have an energy, in voice, in vocal range, good. I have people like Lukey D. Big up yourself, Lukey D.
Yeah.
Them man that help me with the vocal training. Fred Lock, who is my musical director. And Vice, them call him the Vice Guru. Fred Lock, he has so many melodies. I don't know where he get them from.
True.
He has so many melodies. So what I'm doing is utilizing a man like Fred Locks, who is 71 now, and he still has the energy to help the youth them. So that's what we do. The youth them call him the vocal guru because he gives them so many melodies when they're singing. Sometimes them sing the song them and them say, Da 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 da, and the whole thing sound the same. But Fred like to come and say, do re mi fa sol la ti do. Luke he will come and say 1 to 7. Sing from 1 to 7 and go up the scale. You know?
Yeah.
So these are the kind of legacies I want to leave. I want to leave things that people can enjoy, full joy, and say, yeah, you know, the Black Joe them bring the artists here back in the day. Like how other people bring like Dennis Brown and all these other people here, Upsetter was responsible for Marley. You know what I mean? Joe Gibbs and lots of people get credited for Dennis Brown, and Channel One get credited for certain artists. And this is what I want to do. I just want to make good music and make sure that the music that I make is music that people will forever love and forever want.
Definitely, and you're definitely doing that because you're right. Quality is a fire. Always playing him, and I'm loving Chevy. That's a vibe as well. The energy that's coming that way is pure vibes for real. And you know, Black Dread, I wanted to say.
I'm gonna talk just 1 second. She have a song with a artist from South Africa called Dandada, and it's a version of No No No.
Oh
which
yes.
is released in Africa. I think I sent the 9 or 10 to you before.
Yeah, I did an interview. I did an interview with Chevy and Don Dada on that tune as well.
All right. So all that because that link come through us. It came through Reggae Powerhouse with Leroy and myself speaking to Gary G and giving Gary G the link, and then Dan Dada loved the song. And Dan Dada. So that song is going on good for our in Africa, and we want to bring it over. But the Run Down the World one is the one that we're running to in the European market. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, yeah.
For
yeah,
real.
man. We need to keep it going.
Definitely do. And, you know, I just wanted to say thank you again for, you know, speaking to us, one, about your history, your story, and just telling us, you know, the great music and the great vibes that you're on. It's always a pleasure, and you're definitely a legend to a lot of people. People are sending in love hearts, fire emojis, all sorts of things, and just bigging you up. So I appreciate your time.
Amen. Bless them. I make them know, say, one thing them can guarantee with Black Jet.
Yeah.
The music that we make will always be musicians. Musicians is who I use to create the sound, because that's the original sound of reggae. Yeah. One man sitting in his bedroom making music, to me, is bedroom music. So that should stay in his bedroom. But you go to the studio and you bring the artists, and you have 5 people working, you create a sound. You create a sound, and we're looking to make original music. And even the dancehall songs that we make with quality, we bring musicians and we make live music, like the Black Pro rhythm that I have out at the moment with Bounty Killer. I have Busy Signal, I have Devante Tantra Metro, Luki D, a host of other artists I have on the rhythm. And it's all live music. So please, all you budding people out there, make some live music. That's the music that stays with people forever. The dancehall music is only 3 months and 3 weeks. Yeah. But live music with musicians is forever.
For real. Definitely agree with that. And like I said, any music you have, like you've been doing, send it my way. Definitely loving all the vibes and the energy that you're bringing.
Yeah, man. Give her thanks, man. Give her thanks every time. I love your energy, because my sister, work with quality. I think you even know quality before me.
Yeah. Yeah, man. He's got a nice energy. Quality has, definitely.
Yeah, man. I love his vibes, and I love, motivation, and even like I have an album with Fred Locke, a 16-track album with Fred Locke, which is finished. Yeah. I have an album with Isis a 13-track album with Isis, a 13-track album with Earth Warrior, and I think we're going about 10 tracks with quality now. So it's your album I'm working at.
Nice. Looking forward to each and every one.
Singles off the album. Back in the day, that's what used to happen. You take the singles off the album to boost the album. I'm just trying to bring forward the original way, because I think maybe it got lost in the 90s and the 2000s because it was so cheap to just buy yourself a little computer, go in your bedroom, make some music, and people will listen it, but they're not buying it.
Definitely. True. For real. Yeah, man, it's been a blessing and pure vibes, pure energy. And like I said, thank you for your time again. I know it's early out there in JA, but you still came through, did the interview, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, man, and give a thanks to the people, man. Give a thanks to your listeners. Give a thanks to all the people who watch it afterwards or listen it afterwards. Just a beer love, Don't make them plan you out
For
with the
real.
demic. You just go and do your thing, praise the king always. I know say today is Ethiopian New Year, 1984, 2014 in Ethiopia now.
Yeah,
Today
wow.
is the first of the year, is Ethiopian New Year today.
Yeah.
So happy Jenna to all my Ethiopians, happy Jenna to all of the black people who understand say Ethiopia have the original calendar and just be your love, you full joy yourself. And remember today is 9/11, That's what them call it, 9/11. So you can go back in history and check all of the 9/11 them what happened and know that today is the first of the year in Ethiopia.
Definitely.
Yeah?
For real.
That no one leave with the people them. Check it out.
Yeah, man.
And any celebration you do today, celebrate it as an Ethiopian, the original country who have the original Bible, the original Christianity, Ethiopia. Bless up, love and respect every time.
Every time. We'll speak again soon, Black Adre. Pure love.
Yeah, my sister. Big up yourself.
You too. Big up. Bless up. Bless. Yes, people, please do go and support Black Adre. Go and see what he's been up to, what he's doing, what he's got out. And right now we're going to be playing that tune by Chevy, okay? It's called A Rundown. Take a listen, feel the vibes, and big shout out to everybody who's been sending lots of support all over the world, from Canada, Jamaica, America, even Ghana. Big shout out to each and every one of you. This one is from Chevy.
Security, love, and affection. I'm the one for thinking of your competition.